Okay, so I'm gonna do this problem because this problem was a little tricky, right? So we do the same thing we did before. Let data equals x over 2. So this is 4 sine square data, right? And then you subtract 2, and then you add cosine square, and you know that x should be 2 data, right? So this is equal to 0. Now you do 4 sine square data minus 2 plus, this is going to be the same as, if you remember your double angle, you can write this as this, okay? You can write this as this. So this is a square, this is equal 0. So if you recall, cosine 2 data, we said that it was, in terms of sine, 1 minus 2 sine square data, right? So this is 4 sine square data minus 2 plus this thing, 1 minus 2 sine square data, and this is a square, this is equal to 0, and we need to expand this. So we were doing it right the first time. Minus 2 plus 1, I need to expand this, right? So this is 1 minus 4 sine square data plus 4 sine to the 4 data, right? So this is equal to 0. So this is 4 sine square data minus 2 plus 1 minus 4 sine square data, and this is going to be 4 sine to the 4 data equals to 0. This cancels out. This is -1, and this is plus 4 sine to the 4 data. Now the tricky part here is you have to recognize that this is the difference of squares. Okay, so this is 4 sine to the 4 data minus 1 equals 0. So you factor, so this is 4 sine data, actually 2 sine square data plus 1, 2 sine square data minus 1. You don't believe me? FOIL it, right? So if you FOIL it, you get 4 sine to the 4 data minus 2 sine square data plus 2 sine square data minus 1. And this cancels and you get the same like before, right? So you can tell that that's the right factor. So now you need to set it equal to 0, right? So this is what? 2 sine square data plus 1 equals to 0. This is sine square data, right? Minus 1 over 2. If you take the square root of this, we cannot have a negative imaginary angle. That doesn't make sense, so there's no solution here. However, this one you need to solve. So this is 2 sine square data equals 1. Sine square data is 1/2, yes? And then you take the square root here and you get sine data is root 2 over 2, yes? And then this is plot, this is data. Root 2 over 2, and this is plus or minus, right? So where sine is, actually this is sine. So where sine data equals root 2 over 2. So you know that sine data is positive in the first quadrant, right? And then also in the third quadrant, right? But this is data, remember, right? So the problem was let data equals x over 2. So sorry about that. So if we do that, if we let data equals x over 2, I need to multiply both sides by 2. And this is the restricted domain, right? Let's say that that's the restricted domain. So it's from 0 to 2 pi. So I don't need to put all the possible solutions, only 0 to 2 pi. So that means this cancels out. You get, right? You get pi over 2. This is not plus, this is comma, I'm sorry. Pi over 2, and then the other solution should be, what is it? 3 pi over 2, yes? And I cannot do one more because if I do one more, that will be 7 pi over 4, and that will be 7 pi over 2, which is greater than 2 pi, right? So this is the solution for this problem. So this was a little intense, right, in the class because we were getting that sine to the 4 power, right? And that was the tricky part. So be careful with these problems like this, okay, in the test. Okay, and then somebody asked me about problem 22 from the homework. So I'm gonna do that from scratch so you can get it if you are confused. Okay, so here they say identify the center. So you can tell right away what's the center. The center is 0, 0, right? Okay, so that's here. Then they say find the vertices. The vertices corresponds to what? To the A value, right? So you can tell clearly that the A value here is this guy. So the A value should be 0 plus or minus 4. That's the vertices. The co-vertices are the A value, right? So that's supposed to be 0. I'm sorry. The vertices should be 4, 4, and 0, right? And the co-vertices should be 0 plus or minus 3, right? So if you want to find those, let me put that in different colors so we don't get confused. So the vertices are, let me put that in pink, and then this one, let's put that in green. Okay, so we know what we're doing. So, okay, so for the first one, the vertices are at 4 and a negative 4, because this is the, remember, if the number, the A, which is bigger than B, right? A is always bigger than B. If the A is below the X value, that's the major axis. And the minor axis should be 3 here and negative 3 here. So you can just trace now, right? Sorry, you can trace. Okay, so if you trace, you get that. Now, I need to, okay, so I found the center, right? The vertices. Now I need to find the foci. So you know that the foci is in the direction of the major axis, right? So the, what is the major axis here? The major axis here is the X, right? So I need to find the foci. So this is going to be 0 on the Y. So I need to find the foci. You have the A value and you have the B value. So C squared equals A squared minus B squared. What is C squared here? That's what I'm looking for. A squared is what? 16 minus B squared is 9, right? So if you subtract those two, you get 7. So this is supposed to be plus or minus 7. So C equals plus or minus root 7. So that's supposed to be around here 2 point something and negative 2 point something. Yes, so this is plus or minus root 7. Okay, so you're done with that part. Now, asking you, what is the length of the major axis? So this is very easy to tell. What is the length of the major axis? I mean the distance from one vertex to the other vertex, right? From one vertex to another. So the distance from 84 to 4 is 8 units, right? So 8 units. Length of minor axis now, right? So what is the length of minor axis? So the distance from one vertex to the other, from the one distance from the co-vertices to the other co-vertices. So that's negative 3 to 3, that's 6. Yes, so that you finish this, you finish length of minor axis, you're done with that. So now you need to find the length of the latus rectum, right? So the length of the latus rectum is A 2B squared. Okay, so that's the length of the latus rectum. So this is the latus rectum. Let me change the colors so we know that we're talking about the same things. So this is the length of the minor axis. The latus rectum is this guy right here. And let's put the values and get the answer, right? So 2 times, let me put this in different color too. Let me put that in black. Okay. So what do we get? 2B is what? The value of B here is 9, right? B squared is 9. And A is just 4, right? So this is going to be 9/2. So that's the latus rectum, the length of the latus rectum. Now you need to find the eccentricity. So the eccentricity is C over A. So C is root 7, A is, what do you say? A is 4. That's it. And you sketch. Okay, that's it. You're done. That's all you have to do. Okay. And then the other question that somebody asked was question 35. So I have that here. Let's start from scratch. So this is question 30. Oh, actually it was 35. I thought it was 34. 35, what is 35? Okay, let me copy this. So they give you the center, right? And this is an ellipse. So the center should be what? X plus 9 squared plus y plus 5 squared. And it's supposed to be equal to 1. So now you need to find, they're asking for the vertex, right? They give you the vertex. So the center is located at -9 and 5. So the vertex is 8, right? So this is the A value. So what is the distance from 85 to -14? The distance is 9 units, right? So the value of A is 9 units. So that means 9 halves should be the value of A, right? Because you're moving from, if you think about it, you're here, -9, -5. It's around here, -9, -5. And from this distance, the vertex, so the -5 is fixed. You are only moving, you're moving in the horizontal distance, right? So from -9, you're moving to -14. So from -9, you're moving to -14. So that's about here, right? So that's here. So what is the distance from -9 to -14? 5 units. So that's what? That's the value of A, right? A is 5. Okay. So that's the value of A. A is 5. And you need to find the focus is the distance from the center to this point, right? It should be in the same direction with the vertex. So if you are at -5, -9, -5, they're saying that you need to go to -6, right? Okay. So -6 should be here. Okay. So this is one, they give you only one vertex. So the other vertex should be where? So this is the center, right? So this is one vertex, right? And then this is the, let me put the point in a different color because this is the foci, right? Or the focus, I'm sorry. And if you recall, the distance from -9 to 14 is 5. So the distance from -9, if you add 5 units, that would be -4, right? So that means that this point is here. And that makes sense because that should be, the foci is within the distance from the vertex, right? Okay, so C is 3 in this case, right? The distance from this to this is 3 units. So now you just have everything, right? Now you need to find C squared equals A squared minus B squared. C is 9, right? And A is 25 minus B squared, right? You need to solve for B squared. So this is going to be -16 equals negative B squared. So 16 equals B squared. So B equals 4, right? But you need to find A and B. So A and B. A is 25, right? And it should be in the X direction, right? And B is 16. So that's supposed to be the answer. Okay. Let me double check. 85. That's correct. Okay. So that's the answer for number 35. Okay. I hope this helps. If you have, I'm gonna try to do the other problems for you. Okay. And that's it. Thank you.